So you have this freebie, or maybe just an idea for one that you want to start working on, but is it actually epic enough? In a sea of freebies everywhere we look, will yours catch the eye of your dream client? And will it be valuable enough for your dream client to give you their highly protected email address in order to receive it? These are just a few of the questions you should be asking yourself before you put any free offer out into the world. Because if it's not epic enough, it's not going to do much for your business and growing your email list. So in this episode, we're going to take a look at what makes a freebie epic and how to know if yours passes the test. So stay tuned. Hey there, I'm Shawn Mynar, and this is Unstuck Entrepreneur. I'm a former nutritionist who turned a struggling, stressful nutrition practice into a thriving, freedom-filled online business where I work from home in my sweatpants while reaching and helping thousands of people all at the same time. Now I'm obsessed with showing other heart-centered coaches, practitioners, and solopreneurs how to build a business and life they love. Consider this podcast your safe space to learn both the inner work and practical strategies required to build the impactful, profitable business of your dreams. No hustle, grind, or long hours required. That's right, hustle culture, not welcome here. Let's get into today's session. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to the Unstuck Entrepreneur podcast. I'm Shawn, your host here on the show. So happy to have you here checking out this episode. It is an episode all about the freebie and diving into really get honest with ourselves about if your freebie is epic enough. So I like to call the free offers that we put out into the world for our dream clients to help them, obviously, help them get started on their journey, help them get to know more about what we do in our businesses and how we can help them. All of those things are important to have in your business, and I call them epic freebies. There are definitely not so epic freebies, and I want to make sure yours is not one of those. So that is what this episode is dedicated to doing for you and your business. I am a big believer that everyone in a service-based business, in the product-based business too, but we're talking to the service-based business owners here on this podcast mainly, so we'll stick with that. Everyone in a service-based business needs a freebie and an email list. If you can tell me another time-friendly on your end way to build connection, rapport, trust, and this relationship with a wide audience of potential future clients, then I'm down. I'm there for it. I'm cool with that. But until you can find that, then we're going to stick with the email list, because so far, nothing that anyone has come up with has come anywhere near as close to what a freebie and an email list can and will do for your business. So because this is such a wonderful marketing tool for most businesses, that means there's a ton of them out there. I think that it has gotten to be so extensive that we're almost like immune to it or desensitized to seeing them, to seeing like free ebooks popping up every time we go on a blog, and the form that says sign up to get my email newsletter once a week. We just see it all the time. Everyone has it. And so everyone, including you and including your dream client, we're all just kind of immune to this mass of freebies out there right now, which means your freebie needs to be epic. You can't have a crappy freebie and expect it to do much of anything for your business. It's going to get lost in the sea of freebies, and it will not even register on your dream client's radar. So how do we catch our dream client's eye? How do we snap them out of this freebie immunity that we're all experiencing? Well, you have to satisfy a desire and or solve a problem that is unique to where your dream client is at right now. And when you do that, it becomes so valuable that they're willing to clutter up their inbox even more in order to get it. And it does take them out of that zone where they're not even noticing these pop-ups that come up when they're on a blog or when they're scrolling Instagram and they see a free offer again. It snaps them out of that because they're actually interested in it, and it is an epic freebie. So just before I get into the actual nuts and bolts of this conversation we're going to have and what really makes a freebie epic enough, let me hit you with a quick explanation of a freebie for those that may be totally new to the idea and just getting started in their business and trying to figure out this whole marketing thing. So your freebie is a free offer that is directly related to your paid offer. So what paid service you'll be providing, whether that's one-on-one, group coaching, a course, a workshop, whatever it is, you will create a free offer that is directly related to that, where your dream clients can access that free offer by signing up to be on your email list. So they will provide their name and email address in exchange for that freebie you created just for them, and will get access to that and be put on your email list in exchange, and will then get a lovely warm welcome sequence. We'll get into your world. We'll get introduced to you if it's the first time that they're, seeing your work, and we'll get some support and guidance and tips and encouragement along the way. And then they'll be on your email list for the long term until they decide to unsubscribe, if that ever happens. And hopefully the whole goal is for them to become paying clients when it's the right time for them. So that's the goal of your freebie. Really super important, because that is what builds your audience. That is what gives you a group of people, and not just any people, but people that are a great fit for what you have to offer. So this really nice, warm, perfect fit set of dream clients for you to connect with and help. And here comes these dreaded words, sell to. Kind of important. If you don't have that, then it's going to be really hard to have a growing list of paying clients. So it starts with the email address, and the email address starts with the freebie. So critical piece of your business. That is the quick explanation. If you still aren't quite sure if you want to have an email list and a freebie and all that stuff, I have tons of episodes in the past that I've done about this, and even talking directly about, do you really need an email list? So go back. I will link that in the show notes. Go back to that episode if this is still something that's new to you. But let's move on to talk about how to know if your freebie is epic enough. There's some qualifications that we need to. So if you have a freebie right now, I want you to think about that freebie in terms of this list and qualify it to whether it is or is not epic enough. And if you don't currently have a freebie, but you're thinking about creating one, then I want you to keep this in mind as you are deciding on what your freebie is going to be. And then once you put it out, use this again to qualify and make sure that you are in the right spot to where it's something that your dream clients are interested in and is working for your business. So the very first thing on how to know if your freebie is epic enough is that you're excited to share about it, which wouldn't necessarily come up as the obvious first way to know. But I think it's really important, because what I have seen a lot is the creation of a freebie and then the subsequent hiding almost of the freebie, or just totally not giving it its due credit, its due promotion, what it takes, what is required for you to get people to sign up for it. It's like you create it, and it's obviously very similar to what a lot of people do with their paid offers too. You create it and hope people will just stumble upon it or find it or ask you for it, instead of doing the promotional needs that are necessary for people to understand what it is and if it's something they want, and to even see that it exists. And I think a lot of it is, first of all, in other episodes we talk about this more, so I'm not going to talk about this here, but just not feeling comfortable promoting yourself, promoting anything that you have worked on, even if it is free. So there's a lot to that going on. But I also think, if you're excited, if you've created something that is really, truly special and helpful and valuable to your dream clients, and then you're giving it for free, you should be absolutely shouting that from the rooftops. You should be excited about that, and it really shouldn't be a challenge to openly talk about that a lot. So I think that's where I wanted to start this conversation, is in this idea that you're excited to share about your freebie. Because if you created a freebie and, let's be honest, you're kind of embarrassed by it, or you already kind of know it's not really that exciting, or at least not that exciting to your audience, to your dream clients, then that's a sign that your freebie isn't epic enough and it is worth it to create something that you are more excited to share. This, I think, happens a lot when you're just trying to check the box of, okay, I've created a freebie, so that's great. Now that means I can build this huge email list and, my business is booming. So you check the box instead of actually taking the time to really sit and think about and get creative with a freebie. And that's what we need. Everyone needs to do from here on out. No more crappy, just check the box kind of freebies, okay? We want them to be really highly valuable and special and helpful to our people. So that's the first thing. Get excited about your freebie. If you're not, find a freebie that is exciting to you. The next thing, which is the more obvious answer, is that people are signing up for it. So your freebie is epic enough if people are signing up for your freebie, if they want to get it. So that would mean that your email list is growing. We talked about some of the metrics involved in this part of your business last week on the last episode. So go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. Really important information to know about the health of your business. But for example, if your landing page conversion, so that page you have set up to collect email addresses and to share more about your freebie, like the sales page of your freebie, if that page is converting between 20 and 40%, like we talked about in the last episode, then that's a good sign that your freebie is epic enough and people want it. Good, great, let's keep at it. If it's less than that, that could be a sign that you need a different freebie. But like I talked about last week, it could also be that your landing page just isn't good. Like the messaging on your landing page is totally off and not appealing enough for people to take the next step with you. So that doesn't always mean that you need a new freebie, but it's something to look at. And I wanted to put this second because this only works as a metric if you're actually sharing about your freebie. So that's why the first qualifier is that you're excited about your freebie and you're sharing about your freebie. If that is happening and then these conversions are off, then yes, this is a really great way to see if your freebie needs some work or not. But you've got to make sure that you are actually sharing about your freebie in order to be able to use these conversions as a metric. And when I say sharing about your freebie, I don't mean that it's just an afterthought on your website. That's not sharing your freebie. This means making it a big piece of your website, which it absolutely should be. It means sharing about it regularly on social media. And by regularly, I mean regularly. I don't mean once a month. I don't mean once a quarter. I mean regularly. And this means sharing about it with your current email list, because just because it's technically a freebie to get new people on your email list, it still is hopefully a really valuable tool for all of your dream clients. So the people that are on your email list already should still receive your freebie. And again, that's a great way to see if the people who are already kind of in your world, if they're interested in your freebie. That's a great sign. If they're not, that's a sign that it could use some work potentially. You're also, in terms of sharing it, you're creating pins on Pinterest regularly. You're linking to it in your blog posts. If you're a blogger, you're talking about it and linking to it in your podcast. If you're a podcaster, or in your YouTube videos, if you're a YouTuber, whatever you're doing as your platform is there to be a platform for your freebie. Like, yes, all of your work and your freebie. So if all of that is happening and you're not, first of all, getting people onto that landing page, if you feel like your landing page views are low for the amount that you're talking about it and sharing about it and the size of the audience that you're talking to, then that's a sign potentially. And then if people are on that landing page and then not putting in their email address and their name to get that freebie, then that's also a sign that your freebie could potentially use some work. Now, like I said, big caveat, because it could also be that your messaging is just totally off around your freebie. And that's something that you need to work on as well. But if you feel like your messaging is on point and you're just not getting the conversions that you were hoping for, then hey, maybe it's time for a new freebie. Totally possible. The next sign that your freebie is epic enough is that you're getting positive feedback. So even if you only have had like 10 people who have signed up for your new freebie, but 5 of those people have replied back to your email, or you've just heard from them, maybe they're already warm people in your audience and you have a connection and rapport with them already, and you've heard from them that they love your freebie, that it was great, that it helped them, that, it was super valuable, then obviously that's a really good sign. So we should always be looking at that feedback. Any feedback we get, any conversation we have with anyone is so valuable in our business, and you should be using that as data. So if you're getting good feedback, then that's a great sign, and use that to your advantage. The next thing is that your welcome sequence open rates are high, because chances are if people liked your freebie and they got value out of it, they're going to keep opening your emails. So any emails that come afterwards, and we should all have a welcome sequence in addition to our freebie, so they're not just downloading your freebie and getting put on your email list and then not hearing from you, or only hearing from you when it's your weekly newsletter and they haven't warmed up to you at all. They have no idea who you are, what you do, what you're all about, because they haven't been properly introduced, and then all of a sudden they're thrown into your weekly newsletters. We don't want that. So there should be a welcome sequence, a series of emails that automatically get sent to these people after they have signed up to receive your freebie and are on your email list. So really, really important step of the process. And then you can use that again as data. If people are opening afterwards all of those emails, that's a good sign that your freebie was really helpful for them. And so they want to keep getting info and tips and learn more about you. If your freebie wasn't that great and not that valuable for them, then they probably will not keep opening your welcome emails. And you may even see a high unsubscribe rate of those emails. So also something to keep tabs on. So those are just a few ways that you can keep tabs on your freebie and making sure that it's doing its job. But let's now also talk about what makes a freebie epic. So no more crappy freebies. Let's make an epic freebie. Now, this does not mean that you have to give away all your stuff for free. You have to spend months of time creating it, and it has to be this like huge thing. That's not what makes something epic, when we're going to talk about that in a second. Instead, here's what really makes your freebie stand out from the crowd. First of all, it's different. Now, this doesn't mean that it's something that's never been done before, and it's this extremely rare, unique, one-of-a-kind freebie. That's not what this means. But it does need to catch attention and spark interest and desire from your people. So just giving it a little bit of a unique spin can really do that, especially if you start looking in your industry, in your area of expertise, at what's typically done for freebies, and you will most likely see a lot of similar things. So what's even just a unique way that you could present something similar, but just in a way that they haven't seen before? Like, instead of an ebook, you do it in a quiz, or instead of a workbook or a journal, you do it in a challenge. Just even little tweaks like that in how you present it can really be enough to spark curiosity and interest. And that's what we really mean when we say different. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel, but can we maybe spruce up the wheel a little bit? That's what we're looking at here. It also is highly valuable. So not only highly valuable in that they're willing to give up their email address for it, which is huge. I mean, we all can agree that we don't really want to get more emails. So for you to give up your email address and for your clients, your dream clients, to give up their email address, that already says a lot in terms of value. But even going one step deeper than that, getting them to a point where they feel like, wow, I can't believe this is free. And where you feel like you could actually charge like $25 to $50 for that freebie, but you're making it free. That is the vibe that we are going for in terms of the value you are providing in your freebie. Now, again, this is not me saying that you should just give everything you've ever learned and all your expertise away for free. This is not that. This is like $25 to $50 that you could potentially charge for this workbook or this masterclass or whatever it is. And to the point where your dream clients feel that way too. Like, wow, I actually would have paid a little bit for this, but I'm getting it for free. How cool is that? That's the value we're looking for. And within this, kind of a branch off of this, I also want to mention, it has to be something that people want. So it's not just this thing that they need, that you know they need because you know their problem, you know their solution, you know how to get them from point A to point B. So you're going to get them started on that journey in this freebie. It can't just be that. It has to be something that they want to learn, that they want to do, that they want to get. That desire has to be there. And it may not be the desire for your freebie, but it's the desire for the change, the transformation that your freebie will kick them off on. So you're not giving an entire transformation, but you're giving the first step or two. You're getting them started, and they have to want that transformation. So not just that they need it, because you know they need it, but they have to know that they want it. Okay, so that's a kind of a different tangent there, but under the same category. Okay, so next criteria for the epic freebie is that it's easy to consume. So no matter what type of freebie you are offering, it has to be very, very digestible. People sign up for freebies wanting something short, sweet, and to the point, and expecting that. None of us have a ton of time these days in general, and we have even less time to spend on something that we got free from a stranger. We're already kind of like have that going against us. So if it's something that then takes them 30 minutes or an hour to read and to do, then you've lost them. So instead, keep it short and sweet, valuable, and action-oriented. So I would say no more than 10 to 15 minutes to consume. Keep it in that range to keep their attention. That kind of also goes into my next point, which is that there is a quick win. So in that 5 to 15 minute range that it takes to consume your freebie, give them a quick win, something they can do, feel, experience that moves them in the right direction toward what they want. So instead of it just being like this reading and learning something experience that, let's be honest, they'll probably forget in like 5 minutes after they're done with your freebie and move on to the next thing, have them do something. Not something hard, not something complicated, not something that takes a long time, something simple, doable, something that doesn't add to their to-do list, because all of our to-do lists are way too long as it is. But in that short, simple, sweet, doable thing, it makes them feel like they got a quick win. So good examples of this are workbook questions or journal prompts, maybe a meditation, having them take a quiz, make a plan, go do something in their house, or go, have a conversation with someone, something like that where there's an actionable step. Make it an actionable freebie. And then we'll move on to the next one, which also kind of flows nicely here, which is that your freebie provides a mini transformation while opening the loop to a bigger transformation. So your freebie is an intro to your work and to you. That quick win that we just provided for them is amazing. And like I said, we do want it to be like the first step or the first few steps or even the prep work on their overall journey to this transformation. That quick win is amazing and we want that. But it also shows them what's possible, other things they need to do, what more out there is for them. So your freebie is like the appetizer to the main dish, and the main dish is working with you in your paid offer, whatever that is. So that's why it also is really important that it's related. So your freebie is related to what you do with people in your paid offer, because then it is the appetizer to working with you and it opens that loop. So it starts their transformation, it gets them prepped for their transformation, it gives them more information, and then opens that loop to be like, well, what else is there? What's my next step? What else do I need to do? That is the mark of an epic freebie. So that wraps up the list of the qualities of an epic freebie. But I have one more list to share with you, and that is what is not an epic freebie. And this will be pretty quick because it's obviously just the opposite of what is an epic freebie, but I want to point out a few things just to reiterate them one more time. So the first thing is that an epic freebie is not a glorified blog post. So this is not a time to just put in some generic tips into a quote unquote ebook and just have it be something that people kind of read, skim through, and then forget all about. We can't do that because that's not epic. That's not something that, first of all, will probably even get someone's attention, and second, keep their attention and get them interested more in your work. So be honest with yourself. If it's something that would probably make a better blog post, keep it a blog post. Like if it's 7 tips to get more water or 6 ways to increase your liver detox pathways. I'm just totally making things up at this point, but those are great blog posts probably not great freebies because they're just not going to get the attention of the people you want to help, and certainly won't appear valuable enough to put in their email address, because they can go read that blog post somewhere else and not have to give up their inbox to do that. So get a little more creative in that regard. Make that blog post. It'll be great. But then also, what can you do for your freebie that's a little bit different than that? Your freebie is also not a super long ebook or something that's too time consuming. Obviously, we want it to be short, sweet, and to the point. So no need to write this like 50-page ebook or anything like that. And it also can't be something that seems time consuming. So it might not actually be that way. But let's say, for instance, you want to do a challenge and, there's like a little email they get every day with some sort of actionable step or whatever. If it's like even I would say 7-day or beyond challenge, that's too long. That's too time consuming. People aren't going to be interested for that period of time. We want that short, sweet, quick win. So I would say at most do a 5-day challenge and keep those longer ones for potentially a paid offer. And your freebie is also not epic enough if it's too generic, if you're trying to keep it too broad, if it's not specifically dialed in, tuned in, tapped in to the direct needs, desires, wants, dreams, goals, plans, problems, symptoms of your dream client. The more specific you can get with all of that, the better. So keeping things too generic, like 6 ways to get more water. Yeah, everyone needs that. And a lot of people are suffering from dehydration. Do they know that? No. Do they know they get headaches every day at 3 p.m.? Yes. So maybe a freebie about getting rid of your midday headache in a 5-day challenge, which really just is them drinking more water and getting more nutrients, maybe some sleep improvement. That's a cool, epic freebie. Big difference there, right? Okay, and then lastly, obviously, one more time, just to reiterate this. Your freebie isn't epic if it's not a direct starting point to your paid offer. Because if it's not, then you just have some people who aren't really a great fit for what you do on your email list, and then there's a huge disconnect for everyone involved. So keep it a direct starting point to your paid offer. Now, just to wrap up some ideas, these are some things that I personally have done over the years that have been really great freebies, and other clients I've had have done these too with a really great success. So I just want to start getting your creativity spinning in how you can make your freebie or your idea for your freebie a little more epic. So I've already talked about this on the show, but we'll keep mentioning this. Quizzes are amazing freebies. Who doesn't love to take a quiz, especially when it's directly related to a problem or a desire that you're currently having, and it will tell you something about yourself related to that desire or problem? That is cool and epic and valuable. I have had, I think, 3 quizzes now over the years. When I was teaching keto for women, I did a quiz that showed whether they were a fat burner or a sugar burner in terms of their metabolism. That was uber successful. I have done, when I was into teaching mindset work, I did a quiz that showed your vibe, like a vibe check quiz. That was really fun. And I still get people every single day who take that quiz because it still is available in some blog posts that I have on my website. And then now I have the solopreneur quiz and what type of personality you have for your solopreneur type business, which again, I get people taking every day. It's a big piece of my website, and it just is, it's fun. It's really fun to do. I also have had a really great success with workbooks where, there's some prompts. There's some action steps to take where people can do some brainstorming and figure some things out. And then there's a spot for them to write or type within that PDF. That's always a great thing. And again, with that actionable quick win kind of stuff really helps. I have a starter kit, which I currently have going on right now for the Signature Program Starter Kit. Starter kits are great because you know right off the bat that it's going to give you your first few steps. So my starter kit that I have are the first 3 steps that you need to consider before having a signature program. And within that, there's also worksheets. So yes, it's the steps, but then also giving them a place to brainstorm and do some work and figure out those steps right within that starter kit. So that's really fun, has worked out great. I also love the idea of giving a routine, like it could be a skincare routine, a meal prep routine, a supplement routine, something like that I think is really fun. I have in the past, in my nutritionist days, I have had a supplement routine kind of thing, and that worked really well. People were really interested in that, and it was really fun for me to create. So that's an option too. Also, any sort of a recipes book that you can put together if you are in the health nutrition space. Who doesn't love recipes? We all do. So if someone can get their hands on a free recipes that are all in one place that they can have on their computer, on their phone, or something like that, people are really into that. So that's always an option. And also challenges. Like I mentioned, I think challenges are great. I've done multiple. They're really fun. A bonus about challenges is they also work to act kind of as your welcome sequence as well, because they will be getting daily emails from you. So you can kind of weave in your story a little bit and have them get to know more about you and your work along with being a part of the challenge. So that's a nice little perk for you. But all of these, as you can see, they're just thinking outside the lines just a little bit instead of just doing a standard like PDF download. There are a lot of other ways for you to deliver very similar information that's more interesting and intriguing for your people and also will help them be part of this mini transformation instead of just like skimming through something and then never looking at it again. Instead, giving them more to do, more to think about, more to consider, and making it a part of their lives in some way, which then only enhances their desire to continue down that road, which then leads to your client work. So that's a really big part of how this is working in your entire business ecosystem. All right, I will get off of my freebie soapbox here. At the end of the day, what I want to remind you is that having this kind of flow in your business, which, like I mentioned at the beginning, I think we all need to have, it is so much about trial and error. Let me just break it to you now. You're going to create some freebies that are not epic, that nobody wants, that are just not enticing and intriguing and appealing to the right people. And that's okay. That's part of the process. It doesn't mean anything about you or your work or what you do. It just wasn't a good freebie. I have created so many freebies in the past 10 years of business, and some of them flopped. A lot of them were great. I learned by trial and error what worked and what didn't over time, and I'm still doing that. I'm still tweaking. I'm still trying new things, and that's what we signed up for when we decided we wanted our own business and to do our own marketing and all of that stuff. So it's okay. It's okay for this to be a trial and error. It's okay if right now you have a freebie you're not excited about and you just realized you probably need to change it. Cool, that's great. But spend some time intentionally thinking about what you do want this next freebie to be like and do for your clients, and what you can do to make it stand out and be unique and be something different for them. That is the main thing, is just let's not create a freebie just to check off the box. let's do it with a little more intention and inspiration behind it. That's when you will actually find what works and create something real and good that also continues to work for your business for a long, long, long time. It's when we try to do this a little too soon or without that intention behind it that then you end up having to redo and redo and redo, which could have been bypassed if you would have sat with it a little longer and made sure it was truly epic. All right, I will leave you with that, my friends, and until next time, take care. Hey friends, Shawn here, and if you're a coach or practitioner who's looking to help more people make more money and have more free time, then I have a special invitation for you that you don't want to miss. Right now, I'm hosting a free masterclass that will walk you through the process of adding a signature program to your business. As many of you know, the signature program business model has been my primary way of doing business since 2017. And after 7 programs of my own created and helping dozens of other wellness pros create theirs, I'm now sharing my exact process with you for free in this 1-hour masterclass. Now you might be thinking, Shawn, I'm just not ready to have my own program yet, or I don't have the time to build a program right now. Are you crazy? I totally get it. I get all of it, which is exactly why I created this training in the first place. I want you to see how possible this really is for you and how simple it can be when you have a tried and true proven system in place, no matter where you're at in your business today. So if you're like most coaches and practitioners who have a dream of creating a scalable offer in their business that helps the people they're meant to help without it being directly tied to your time and energy, then there's a seat with your name on it inside my Burnout Proof Your Business Masterclass. In just 1 hour, you're going to learn why adding a signature program will uncap your income potential forever and give you more time for your own life, health, family, and self-care. You'll learn exactly how my client sold out her first program, even with a small audience, because of this one super simple marketing hack that I am going to reveal. You'll learn the simplified, foolproof process that will take your knowledge and experience and turn it into your own program in just 6 weeks. And also how to implement an automated marketing system that will grow an engaged audience full of perfect match clients that can't wait to enroll in your program once it's ready, even if right now you're starting at 0. All you have to do is head to shawnmynar.com/burnoutproof and save your seat for this masterclass before it's gone. shawnmynar.com/burnoutproof. Can't wait to see you there.